Hey, all you rockaholics. Welcome to another edition of Rock Talk with CGCM Rock Radio. My name is Bob Bannister, and I have to say, 2025, pretty interesting time to be alive. There is all kinds of great new music out and new artists popping up all over the place. And one thing I'm really interested in is the way that these artists seem to be blurring the lines between the genres of music. There is no real true genre anymore, really. And one of those great artists lives just across the lake from where I live. She's in Michigan, just right across from Ontario here. And that's a real treat to be able to sit down and chat with this young lady. So let's welcome to Rock Talk, the one, the only, Izzy Reign. And here we go. It's another edition of Rock Talk right here with CGCM Rock Radio. My name is Bob Bannister, joined today by a young lady from Grand Rapids, Michigan. A young lady that's poised to take the world by storm in 2025. I am talking about the one, the only Izzy Reign. Welcome, Izzy.
Hi.
I do apologize.
Okay.
No, so give us the story of Izzy Reign, the creator, the artist.
Gotcha. Well, let's see. I've been doing music for, I don't even know, 10 plus years at this point. But as far as the Izzy Reign stuff comes, it was a big decision to finally stop going in the generalized direction of what I thought people wanted to hear and more or less what I wanted to make. And instead of being in a band with a bunch of people with a bunch of different opinions and stuff, I decided, this is something that I want to do on my own and then work with a producer and a writer. And that's pretty much it. This whole new stuff is this whole album that has been slowly but surely trickling out is all kind of a factor of mental health in a strange way. So for me, just putting out this album in general was not only good for myself, but in hopes to help other people in weird situations. Even though the songs seem a little bit chaotic, if you kind of dive into them, or you look at the other aspects that I kind of put into them, whether it's the story cards that come with the songs or the random videos I put with it, and just kind of hoping that it's a way for me to connect with other people in a community and not feel so alone, or them not feel so alone. So that's pretty much the standpoint of Izzy Reign.
Very cool. Now you touched on your album, and if I read correctly, I think you said March on the threads there.
Yes.
Do we have a title for this album that's coming our way?
It's actually just self-titled. So since it is the first thing I'll be putting out, it is just Izzy Reign because it is encompassing everything that I am.
Now, one of the things that caught my ear initially was your cover of Rob Zombie's Living Dead Girl. I'm a huge Rob Zombie fan. Where did that come from for you?
Oh, well, that one was that was a tricky one for me. So every year I usually do a Halloween cover. And because it blew up one year doing one cover and I've kind of stuck with it ever since then. Plus the Halloween stuff has a huge background with me. So this year was a huge debate on what I wanted to do. And it's kind of odd because in the last year or two, the Halloween cover scene kind of got oversaturated, and which is totally fine, but it's kind of hard to not do something that someone else has already done over the last couple of years alone. It is blown up. So I was all right, let's take this from a different direction. What's something that I consider still a Halloween song, but might not be the same conventional Halloween song that everyone else might consider. And obviously Rob Zombie's in themselves incredible. So I'm all right, let's see how weird we can make this already weird song. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked about that.
Well, it totally works. I mean, it's still true to the Rob Zombie version, but
Mm.
it's got an Izzy Reign stamp to it as well.
Yeah, and it was kind of like a fight with it because a lot of the times when I do covers of songs, I like to very much so make it my own. But this in itself was already in the genre that I'm in, like very similar. So I was like, okay, like I want to take this and I don't want to destroy this song. I want to keep this song what it is, but just like you said, add the elements of like who I am and in the weird dainty ways, which is the only thing that was like it was such a strange question in my own head. Like, do I want to be like the power vocally one in this song, like how he's like super like in it with his vocals, or do I want to do the exact opposite? You know, and in my own past experiences, I've learned to like not just be the power vocalist and try to do other stuff to like expand what I genuinely enjoy and stuff. So doing that was more or less for myself to put in that type of take for the song. But yeah, I think it turned out interesting to say the least.
Yeah, 'cause Rob Zombie is a bit of a steamroller when it comes to
Yeah,
it.
yeah, definitely.
Now you use the term cyber
Mhm.
pop punk to describe yourself. How's that different from industrial? Because we're in my head, it's industrial. Is that pretty much one and the same, interchangeable?
Yeah, I would say so. It's not super far off to so basically a lot of my influence for writing, I listen to a lot of K-pop. Like I love it and anything that's from the League of Legends playlist, like I'm all here for it. Like it's some of the most amazing stuff. I am in no way, shape, or form Korean, you know. So as far as the the like proper way to go about it, I would say industrial is right up in the area, but it is extremely heavily influenced from K-pop like music, you know. So for me, it's in itself, you know, cyber pop, you know, stuff that is like a futuristic but very poppy sound and mixed in with like the metal music. So that's more or less where I stem from on that.
So where do you see this genre and yourself 10 years from now?
Hopefully getting weirder.
Hey, weird is good.
I stand for that. Be as weird as you possibly can. I'm trying to push every limit I can with it still not being just like, what is this? You know what I mean? Like trying to make sure that what I'm creating or what we're creating is both cohesive, but also like what even went through your head when you were doing that. And I want to make it work because then people can put random sounds together and it's like that, yeah, you did that, you know, but I want something to be like, this is going to be stuck in your head, but also weird, you know, that's the general direction.
And is that kind of your creative process? Just see what sticks kind of deal?
Kind of, yeah. The there's a couple different standpoints as far as the creative process goes. I like to it, it's me. There's Nick Matskos and John Eberhard. Those are the people that I work with for everything. There's the John is a writer and he's incredible at what he does. But I usually will sit down and I will come up with a skeleton like of a song and I'll send it to him and he'll work on it and then we go track the vocals with Nick and he does all of the post production. But a lot of the times on my end for what I end up doing, I will sit and either think of and I either write just random stuff. I'll either sing stuff out in Simlish, and sometimes I won't even use any form of instrument or plugin or anything. I'll just make the sounds vocally until I feel like this is a good thing or this is a good like BPM or whatever. And as soon as something clicks, it feels right. And then it starts getting weird and it feels interesting and it's like a story in my head instrumentally. So then we start adding all the other crazy elements and then I ship it off to them. So
So with the album on the way in March, what else does 2025 hold for Izzy?
oof. Hopefully a lot. It is it's gonna be an interesting year for sure. I with the album dropping in March, there will be obviously all the songs that are already out, plus a few more that will drop before the album, and then two or three songs that are only on the album and not out. So hopefully with that, we can push things as far as we can throughout the year. And if everything falls in our favor, then we will be able to have my goal at least is to have a large enough fan base to set up a tour like towards the end of the year and like even if it's just like a 2 week run and then go see how that ends up panning out. Um, I do have another music video that will be dropping with the album, but as far as things in Deep Concrete, it's just going to be a whole lot of promoting all year long.
Well, make sure you get some really good downtime
Yeah,
because
lot of that and writing. So,
there you go. Now, how does Izzy Rain recharge her batteries? What's your favorite downtime activity?
well, I actually stream, and I stream 3 times a week, which is on Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And Friday specifically is for Fortnite. However, every day I'm not streaming, I'm usually also still playing Fortnite. So I would say that's a pretty mindless way to kind of recharge my batteries. However, I do obviously winter is winter, but I'm very much so an outdoors person. So I'll like go camping or travel or do whatever I can. But in current times, yes, definitely video games.
There you go. Now, musically speaking, do you have a guilty pleasures that you really like? Like myself, I'm a hard rock, heavy metal guy. Dabble into a little bit of industrial, but I love the music of Linda Ronstadt.
Um, I can proudly say that I am not ashamed of anything that I listen to, or is it even slightly a secret? But I think that most people like assume that I listen to a lot of metalcore music, and I know a lot of it, and I'm surrounded by it all the time. However, I listen like Imogen Heap is easily one of my favorite artists ever in like history, and she's so bizarre and so strange and so influential to myself and so many other people that are even relatively close to that genre. But she's definitely the peak. I love listening to stuff like that, and Aurora is really good. There's this new artist too that I came across because of TikTok. Originally went by Buzz, and her stuff is more ambient. But she switched to I think it's called Hot and Freddy, whatever. Anyways, they're really cool. Everybody should check them out. They're really bizarre and like I don't know, they're interesting. But that I guess would be the oddball thing that I listen to the most.
That's cool. Everybody needs some bizarre music
Yes.
in their life.
Yeah.
Is there an act that you'd absolutely love to share the stage with, though?
Oof. Uh, that would make sense. I
Makes sense.
uh any of those people that I just mentioned, I would die for that. But I think I would also just love to see them in general. Kim Dracula is a really big one because they're also insanely weird. I feel like it would be a really good fit and also a solid good time. Um, but like even bands like Starset would be cool. In this moment would make sense for the most part, but there's like a lot of even like not major bands that I think would be so much fun to just tour with. Like Archers is a really good example, or the Funeral Portrait. They're not large bands, but they're definitely worth the mention and definitely worth the check out. Um, but yeah, I don't. I would say definitely that, and I also want to be able to reach out and be like, oh, I'm gonna go with Lady Gaga. Like I want to be able to hit all of the genres of music that I could tour with by stretching the genre that I'm in as much as I can.
And that's the really cool thing. You just hit on something there. I've noticed over the past, I don't know, maybe decade or so, the lines are blurring so much. There's not a dedicated hard
Mm-hmm.
rock. There's not a dedicated pop. There's not a dedicated country. Uh, it, Speak on that for a second. Like what's that like for an artist where you don't have to stay in quote unquote your own lane?
It is for me incredible. I love that. I think that it did make things a little easier for like certain bands at certain times to be like, this is the style of music we need to write and we don't need to do anything different. But to me, I did that for years and I was so bored of it. And I listened to such an array of music. Like I grew up listening to like techno, like 90s techno and EDM and stuff like that, and like R&B. I absolutely despised metal music growing up because my parents were so into it, but I grew into it, and I was like, actually, I lied. Let me start a band. Um, but I love being able to take the elements from who I am and uh introduce all of them into like my like whatever music that I'm doing. And I think it's so cool when I hear artists from different genres blend what they're doing. And it's I don't know. I think it's an incredible thing because you're nothing belongs to somebody and it's always subjective. So I don't know. I enjoy it. I personally think it's a major upgrade to society.
Very cool. But do you have one of those songs that you just listen to it, you hear it, and you go, "Damn, I wish I wrote that."
Oof. That's a tough one. There's a lot. Um, dang. Oh Lord. That is a tough question. Um, I know that's crazy. I feel like I listen to so much that it's like this is like the first thing that pops in my head because of a recent song. And probably just because of what it is, but the last Lady Gaga song that came out is weirdly like it's what we were just talking about, a blend of music that it like what that could have been an In This Moment song or a Lady Gaga song. You know what I mean? Like that is it's like Nine Inch Nails meets pop. And it's such a bizarre mix of stuff that I'm like, this is incredible. I love that. So that would be, I guess, one song that is recently released I would have loved to have written. But also things like if you take it like back to like original roots, dude, any Queen song would be cool. Star Sets the same way. They have some incredible stuff. I just like the cinematics and a lot of their music. Um, but yeah, that is a really tough question. I'd have to think about that one.
I'll leave it with you then. So before we wrap things up here, I like to do a little thing called this or that. I give you a series of rapid fire, top of the head answer questions. If you're ready,
Mm-hmm. Let's go.
CD, vinyl, or MP3?
You said CD, vinyl, or MP3?
Correct.
Oof. I'm gonna go MP3.
Spicy food or sugary treats?
Spicy food all the way.
Iced coffee or iced tea?
Iced coffee.
Pool, beach, or water park?
I like beach.
Video games or board games?
Video games.
Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Sure.
And finally, sometime down the road, they're making the Izzy Reign movie. Who plays you?
Ooh. I can't believe this is brought up so many times. I'm going Lady Gaga. She's weird. That's why. That's it.
There you go. And like I said before, weird is good. Hey, thank you for joining us here, Izzy. What's the website? What's the socials?
Oh, pretty much everything is under Izzy Reign. There's a couple little differences, but I'm pretty sure even if you search it on any platform, Izzy Reign, like IZZYREIGN, like the Queen, you'll find me. So any social media platform that is out, I probably have it.
Very cool. And again, thank you for joining us on this edition of Rock Talk, Izzy.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
You're quite welcome. And thank you for joining us. And we'll catch you again next time, right here on Rock Talk with CGCM Rock Radio.